Hi guys, it's your boy, the Supreme Leader. Yes, the Supreme Leader. And guys, yesterday I couldn't stay online for long because I had to quickly do some other things, so I couldn't stay with you guys for a long time online. Uh, yeah, so simply here today, I know a whole lot of you might be going to work or something, and some of you might still be at home. But here in Brazil, the lockdown is still on, and there are no people on there are no people outside. There are few people outside. There are people outside, but we have only few people outside, not so much. I think people are beginning to start to go back to work. Hello, Mr. Terry Edwards. How are you feeling today? I hope you are doing great, guys. All right. Before I continue with what brought me here today, first of all, I had a question about. There was a viewer who was asking me about traveling outside without knowing anybody outside, and how is he going to cope with the situation when he travels outside without knowing anybody outside. I understand there is always a first time when you want to travel, there is always a first time. Sometimes you go to places you don't know anybody, you don't know where to start, and you don't know how to get yourself or get yourself going. It's not a big deal because looking at now and before, because before things were a little bit different, but now things are a little bit much more advanced. So therefore, if you want to travel to a place that you don't know, most definitely you can just do it. You understand? Because there are more applications that you can simply go on these applications and look for cheaper, what do you call it? Look for cheaper hotels, cheaper motels, and cheaper guest houses. You know, so if you want to travel to a country you don't know, you don't need to worry so much. There are a whole lot of applications online now. Even on your phone, you can download these applications, and then you can simply search for cheaper guest houses because there are a whole lot of cheaper guest houses when you want to travel to a country where you don't know anybody, because sometimes the hotels are very, very expensive to travel to these places. You understand? And also, I understand the fear of not knowing anybody in that country. So therefore, it is the best thing for you to do is you have to look for a guest house instead of what? Instead of a hotel. Because normally the hotels are very, very, what do you call it? They are very expensive. Yeah. But with the guest house, you will for sure come across cheaper guest houses that you can at least even book for a month or two until you get yourself on your feet or something. Because when you go to a country, most definitely you make some few friends outside, and you have to be very open minded and very, very free. You understand, and try to communicate with people too as well. Sometimes you might not know how to speak the language. You understand, but that shouldn't make you feel so like in prison. Like you shouldn't feel like no, you are out of what they are looking for. Even though you cannot speak their language or something, you go to a country where they speak a different language, not English. You can still you can still communicate, and just hold on a second, guys. All right, so okay. Yeah, so guys, let's chat because my daughter was with me. I think she's sleepy. She took something. She ate something. So no, she she breastfeeded, so she's tired. All right, so let's quickly get back to the topic. Africa will wipe up. No, sorry. China will simply wipe out Africa. Okay, why am I saying so? Okay, the reason for this is very simple. We all we all have seen how a whole lot of Chinese people are migrating to Africa, and also we have seen a whole lot of Chinese businesses in Africa too as well. They are buying uh, properties in Africa. They are, like they are giving our leaders a lot of what do you call it, loans and stuff like that. And our leaders are not thinking straight. They are crazy people. They are useless people. They don't think straight. And what they do is they take the money from these Chinese people and then give them the right to do a whole lot of things. We all know, like I was saying yesterday, I was talking about, in China, they have a whole lot of people. Like they have serious high population in China. So in Africa, we have everything, but even let me just say, Africa is even bigger than we, the people of Africa, because yes, we are not that much. You understand? And looking at China, their population is very, very huge and very, very big. So if you are smart, you can tell that the plan they are planning is to wipe out Africans and then take the African continent, which I can see, and you can also see they are in the process, because each and every time they are in Africa, each and every time they are giving Africans loans and stuff like that. And it's going to be very nasty in the nearby future. It's just a matter of time. But I think the youth are also waking up. So most definitely it's not going to be that simple or easy. And I think with we Africans, we have to be very, very, what do you call it, very, very smart on this thing. Because I know our leaders are not paying attention to us as youth. They are doing what, like, they are doing their own thing. They don't care about us. They don't want to hear our problems and stuff like that. And recently, this is what happened in China, or what is happening in China, is a very perfect example that our leaders are not ready to do what, to even help us out and also stand for us as Africans. So Africans individually, wherever you live, wherever you are, you have to try as much as you can, and then start fighting back if it is through social networks and social medias, like the platforms we have nowadays. We have Instagram, we have Twitter, we have Facebook, we have YouTube, and we have much more platforms to use in fighting back nowadays. So now we have it. They are very powerful too. Yes, we have it, and man, Mr. KB, it is really, really disturbing, because if you look at the kind of lifestyle Africans are living in their own continent with these Chinese people in it, it is really, really sad, because our leaders don't really care about us. And also, I think once we have these platforms, we can still use these platforms to share messages and also open up more brains and minds, you understand, across the world, because there are Africans across the world who are always online looking for more information, and also wanting to learn more about strategies and how to grow as African, and as well as growing as individuals too as well. The problem with we Africans, or with Africa itself, is we as individuals, Africans as we African individuals, we have big problems. And when I talk about big problems, is majority of we Africans, we don't pay attention to the way our leaders behave. You understand? Like, we don't pay attention to these things. We simply buy. We simply buy what do you call it? We simply buy their lies. You understand? And each and every single time we see a whole lot of Africans suffering, a whole lot of Africans trying to leave the continent, a whole lot of Africans complaining, like what I'm complaining, like how I am complaining at this very moment. Now, there is nothing you can tell me as an African leader that I will believe you. I won't believe you. Forget it. Yes, because the obligations that has to be put in place is not being taken care of. You understand? Like, for example, a system for African individuals, because if you look at Europe and other nations, they are more like they pay attention to their nationals and citizens. You understand? For example, even if an European, like in a different continent, whether it's from France, it's from Germany, it's from wherever. Once is in a different continent and there is a problem, the Europeans can simply help him out because he's a European. You understand? So this is some of the things our leaders have to do. You understand? They have to be strong for us. They have to stand for us. They have to always be there for us. They have to listen to us. But it seems that they are not listening to us. So what we have to do is we have to try as much as we can to do what? To fight back as African individuals with all platforms like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, anywhere. You should do videos. We have to talk about this so that we can come out with a very good solution. You understand? Because Chinese people, they are liars and they are selfish also as well, because each and every single time they focus more on their profits, like the money they are going to make. They don't care if you are going to die or what they are going to give you is going to have some kind of problem on you. They don't really care. Yeah, African leaders don't respect their people. They don't respect their people at all, and much more, they are more focused on getting money for themselves, like their stomachs. They are more focused on that because looking at Africa, we can do more. We can do more. Look, Africans, we have everything. We can do everything on this continent. If we talk about what do you call it, technology, there are a whole lot of young Africans who are very smart and like they can do something. A very perfect example is this COVID-19 situation. You can see there are some African countries coming out with solutions. Like, for example, in Ghana, there are there are recoveries, a lot of recoveries of COVID-19 in Ghana. Like, for example, 18 recovery cases yesterday I came across online that people recovered, like using the herbal medicines in Ghana. There are secrets using the herbal medicines in Ghana to recover from this latest disease that is killing people. You understand? So we as Africans, we can do more. We can come out with simple solutions to handle our own problem. We can come out with a whole lot of smart people in that continent to help the continent to do what? To grow. But it's just that when you look at Africa itself, we are so divided in such a way that we think so much about ourselves, like individually, than to think as a nation. You understand? Yes. So that is, yes, a special one. You are right about that. Because when you look at the strategy that the Chinese people are using, the Chinese people are using a strategy in whereby they will be able to get Africa without the Africans in it. And you can tell the process is going on because they are buying properties and stuff like that. But anyway, we can still take back those properties back because it's not their land. Because in China, they don't sell properties to foreigners just like that. Even when they sell it to you, it's like they're listing the property to you. They can just list it for 50 years. So therefore, after 50 years, the property is going to be back to, it's going to be back to the state. No, it's going to belong back to the state. You understand? So we can still do something as Africans, as individuals. Now that we have Africans worldwide, we are united outside. Like we talk, this YouTube thing is bringing us together. We can think as Africans and also create some kind of union outside to see what we can do as Africans and also yes. Good morning, my sweet sister. Less incentive. Thank you so much. Yes, you have caught me live today. And today the topic is about China using a strategy to take Africa out, to take Africa away from Africans. And we have simply realized that they are using a strategy to invade Africa. Yes, they are using strategy to invade Africa. So we as an Africans living overseas, it is a very good thing that there is some platforms like this that we can use to fight back and also use to share more information. Yes. Yeah, so what is happening is that they are coming in piece by piece, giving loans, buying properties. You know, in China, they don't have lands, they don't have things anymore. So they are looking at Africa as a second home where they can simply invade, you understand, without the Africans in it. So they are doing what they can to simply wipe out the Africans, you know, like the Africans, so that they can simply own the lands of Africa. You understand? But they have to understand that nobody has been able to succeed taking the African land out of the from the Africans. Yes, it is really sad, guys. And guys, so what is your idea? If you want to be part of the conversation, I can simply leave the code right there so that you can be part of it. If you don't want to be part video, you can be part on each audio. You can just come on and then share your idea or your opinion, what you see about the Chinese invasion of Africa, and also what do you think about our leaders in Africa? Why are they selling Africa out? Why are they selling Africans out as well? You know, like, what do you think? I have left the what do you call it, the link below. If you want to be part, just click the link so that I can simply invite you also, so that you can come on and then join us so that we can talk. Yesterday when I was on live, I had a viewer who super chat me. Yes, he gave me a super chat of $10. His name is Brent Gibson. Brent Gibson, he lives in the United States. I want to take the chance to thank him so much for the super chat. I know he's always busy, so the time he normally gets to come online is in the evening. Yes. Yes, that is what I'm saying. We as Africans, we have to stand up together, because this is not the time to say I am from Nigeria, or I'm from Ghana, or I'm from Togo, or I'm from Uganda, or something. This is the time we have to say we are from Africa. You understand? This is the time that we have to believe in ourselves and then come together, share the ideas we have together so that we can look for a way to stop people from to stop other continent from invading the African continent. Our leaders who are useless and greedy, we have to look for a way to kick them out of office and replace them with vibrant, young, smart African youth who can handle African uh, matters themselves. Because someone like me, if you choose me to be a leader in Africa, trust me, for the first year, I'm going to make sure I block every single thing that comes in of Africa. We are going to stop consuming anything outside Africa. We are going to close the borders of Africa and make sure we look for people who are smart to come up with ideas on how to do things. Yes, and we are going to voluntarily do things. I'm going to make sure that I look for a way you get food for free, you get security for free. Everything is going to be, we are going to support each other. Each and every country, you bring your resource, then we use the resource to do what? Develop the continent. We can simply think about using one country to start a big city, and then, like we have to strategically start something. Me, I think our leaders are useless. What they think about is they think about themselves. You understand? So if we are bringing ideas as Africans, it becomes difficult to grow because they are not ready to sacrifice anything. You understand? Yes, money is the root of all evil, Beatrice. Beatrice, you are right about what you are saying. Money is the root of all evil. And it's not something that we have to sit down and look as African for it to overcome us. Okay, special one. You said I heard that even Africans who have the business in China, most of them have Chinese wives, and they are using the name of their Chinese wife. Totally impossible for a foreigner to open a business. Yes, you are right. Special one. I have what do you call it? I have a friend who is married to Chinese, and he was deported from China, and he bought an apartment in China, but he wasn't able to buy the apartment in his name. He bought the apartment in his wife's name. So therefore, now that he has been deported back to Ghana, the property doesn't belong to him anymore. But the property is simply the property of the Chinese. So you can tell from this perspective that they are very, very smart in doing things like that. In China, okay, in China, but I don't understand why our leaders are giving Chinese freedom to open businesses. Yeah, so this is why I am online here today, and I want somebody who can also contribute and tell us their opinion on this particular matter. Yes, so if you want to be part of the show, you can simply click the link and then become part of the show, and then we can talk about this and share our ideas and opinion on this, because I think it is necessary as we Africans from any part of Africa to be able to come out with some what do you call it, with some idea to make things happen for us. You understand? Because our leaders are not, they are not there for us. They are not helping us out. They are making our lives very, very difficult. So, guys, um, is anybody there who anybody who wants to be part of the show can simply click the link below, please. If you have some opinion, don't leave the opinion to go. Please come on air so that you can leave your opinion, so that Somebody can watch it and also learn from our opinion out here. Yes, you see, this is why I'm saying our leaders. You know, when you think about this, you know that the reason why they are able to turn against Africa against each other is because of the money side. You understand? They use the money to do all these things. But what our leaders don't know is you get the money. You are not going to die going with the money. You are going to leave the money. When you leave, the money is going to belong to another person. So why don't you simply, when you get the money, invest into your people, make them great people so that they will be respected. You see, the whole thing is when you look at the Western world, they simply they think about the future. They don't think about right now. And Africans, most of us, especially our leaders, they think about now, now, now. You understand? So this is where the problem lies. Once the person is thinking about now, it becomes very difficult to simply, yes, that is what we have to remember. Our leaders are making things really hard for us as Africans. And me, I don't care if, like, for example, somebody or like we use some place like Sudan to be the capital of Africa. I don't care if we use some place like Congo to be the New York of Africa. I just want something to be done so that the African people can gain some dignity. You understand? They should gain some dignity out for themselves. Last year at the 2019 China Africa Summit, the African leaders that attended asked China to cancel the debt that owe China or reduce their debt. This was in the news in 2013. You are right, anointed prayers. Anointed prayers, you see, the fact about debt in Africa is our leaders are not smart. They are very, very wicked and useless. Because if you look at one country in Africa can do a lot. Because if you look at some countries like Dubai, some countries like Malaysia, some countries like Qatar, and this kind of countries, they have nothing. It's only desert and gasoline that they have. But when you come to Africa, one country can own gasoline, everything, food, everything. Like you come to one country in Africa has it all. And when you look at the kind of deals this Middle East and these countries did with Western countries to develop their countries, when you look at the kind of deal they did, you'll be surprised. Some of them just sign contract of 10 years, some of them sign contract of 20 years, some of them sign contract of 15 years. They will say, okay, we have guys, we want you to sign a contract with us. You are going to take off the gas for 10 years and develop our country, give our people, let our people get jobs and stuff like that. After 10 years, we take back our property back. These are some of the deals they did in Dubai and Malaysia, and today they are the top countries in the world. Yes, it is actually a gold. It is actually a gold because when you look at Africa, we have everything. We have everything. When you talk about gas, you talk about gasoline, you talk about everything, food, natural resources. We have everything. One single country can tell you the amount of things they have. Let us use Ghana. Let us use Ghana, for example. Ghana has oil. Ghana has a whole lot of things. Ghana alone. You just imagine if Ghana alone has a whole lot of things, How about the rest of the African countries? Why are they misusing the resources like that? Why are they not sitting down as Africans, but rather they sit down as different nationals? Because when you talk about the Union of Africa, when you go there, you don't see any union. You only see countries. You understand? You only do what? See countries. But when you talk about union, you don't have to be talking about countries. We know, yeah, there are ethnicity, cultural differences, which fine, they can maintain that. But then unity, when you talk about unity, you have to forget about these cultural differences. We have to sit down. We have to really push some agenda to make Africa great. Because of what? If we are able to unite and sacrifice to forget about these small things that divides us, like the borders. There is a comment that I had from one South African girl, that I was going through Facebook and I saw some article about what is going on with South Africans in China. Before I saw some article about Nigerians, what is happening with Nigerians in China, and some South Africans were laughing. And when I saw the article that they were going through some problems too with the Chinese, and they were complaining so much, and I went down under the comment section and I commented and said, you people were laughing at other African countries who were being abused in China, but today you are being abused and you are complaining. You see, these are some of the things we talk about. If we unite as Africans, nothing like that can happen. And the response I had from my comment, under my comment, was, she said, we can unite as Africans, but everybody has to stay where he or she is. Therefore, to unite as Africans, we don't necessarily need borders. We don't necessarily need to cross borders, but we can stay in our countries and then do something better for ourselves. And I think it is good. It is a good idea. We can do it. Because once we have leaders, they can meet up and then be planning the things. When they come back to their various areas, they can come out with good engineers and good planners. They come out with some idea, then they can meet up and then build Africa. But then, guys, it is really stressing when you talk about these things, because you keep talking, and keep doing the same old thing. How can Africa, a continent like Africa, be in debt? It is very funny and very sad. And countries like North Korea are rich; they are not in debt. I think what Aircon is bringing to Africa is one of the best things. But then I don't buy the idea of Aircon going for a loan to buy those panels, because we as Africans, or we as Africans, we can come out with a solution, because we have a whole lot of rich people in Africa who can contribute for this kind of project to happen. That is why I was saying, yes, that is pressure on African government. They created the pressure for themselves. There wasn't any pressure until they started creating the pressure for themselves. Because when you look at back in the days when there was some leaders like Idi Amin, when there were like leaders like Kwame Nkrumah, we didn't have any pressure on us as Africans. Africans were able to be themselves. They were able to become the real Africans at that time. Because when there were leaders like Idi Amin, there were a whole lot of Africans who were criticizing what they were doing. But then, at that time, Africa was safer from all this outside world, because they were not able to come in to do this crazy stuff. You understand? So sometimes you look at dictatorship, then you say sometimes it's good. And because when you look at when we say democracy the democracy is not working properly. It's not working properly in Africa. It's not working properly in Africa. And the project of Aircon is one of the best projects that we can say, if we focus on this kind of project, Africa is going to be one of the best, because these people have lived in the outside of Africa and they see what is going on. And that is why they are bringing the idea to Africa. So Africans who are rich can simply support this kind of, if they can support this kind of project, I think Africa will go far. We don't need to go for loans to do things. And even the things that we are going for, there are a whole lot of Africans who can simply create it. You understand? The panel, we have resources that we can use to create our own panels. We can design it. We can do it from scratch, because the materials, we have it in Africa. Glass, we have glasses in Africa. We have a variety of things that can create panel. We can create it from scratch. Now, the world is a global village, guys. Yes, you see, when you talk about resources, they cannot take all the resources. When we hear people say they have taken all the resources, it's funny, because we still have a whole lot of space in Africa where we can still use and develop Africa, because Africa is huge. There are places where nobody even knows. There are places where nobody has stepped foot in the whole of million years. Nobody knows that those places exist. You understand? So we have more than enough. We have more than enough. We don't have to go into debt as Africans. You understand? People are supposed to come to Africa to seek for loans. They are supposed to come to Africa to seek for loans. For example, when they come, they need gas. We have to put measures. You understand? We don't need money. If you want to get a gas or some resource, some kind of resource in Africa, it is very simple. You have to develop a different community. Apart from that, you have to create an account and then make sure those communities where you want to explore, you sign a contract of 5 years or maybe 10 years. You develop the community, you give the people job, you make sure you secure their life. Every single person has a very good income. If they are not able to get a job, they are being paid monthly. These kind of measures, Africans can do it. And we do it, we are not going to be in debt. We are rather going to be making more money, and people will be coming to us for loan. Yes, if I'm a leader in Africa, trust me, I will simply make things so easy and better for Africans, and life is going to be very, very smooth. I won't have any problem with any Westerner, because yes, we are going to sit down and negotiate. I'm not going to sack them, but I'm going to put some limit, and also we are going to do contracts. Yes, that is why I'm saying Aircon, the project Aircon is bringing is a powerful project, but Aircon doesn't need, he shouldn't go for any loan like that. We don't need him to go for a loan. He should ask for sponsorship within Africa. That is what I'm saying, because there are a whole lot of rich African, and Aircon is one of the icons of Africa. And when he starts some kind of advertisement on sponsorship, most definitely there are a whole lot of rich people who will support him in Africa. They shouldn't accept any offer from out of Africa. It should be everything. It should be inside Africa. Good. That is what I'm talking about. They are not focused in making Africa a better place, but they are rather focusing in getting money for themselves. That is why I say African leaders are useless, greedy, and selfish. Guys, I will leave you guys out here. It's about like 40 minutes online. I didn't have anybody to come online to simply share their opinion with me, because I think it would have been better if you are able to come online so that we can be discussing things together. But I will leave you guys here. I love you guys. Stay safe, and also don't forget to subscribe to this channel and also be part of everything that I'll be doing on this channel. Love you guys. See you in my next video. Bye.